All right, UH Nation. I'm Aaron Wimsett, Son Young Graves. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. So week 7, we're getting to playoff time. Before we get into everything, let's talk about the teams on the bubble. I think there's 7 of them, right? We got the Crusaders, the Pistons, the Goodfellas, the Celtics, the Cudas, and the Bad Boys. The Bad Boys and the Cudas, I believe, need the Bad Boys play the Bulls next week, and if they get that win, that's a legitimate win. I mean, they can't control somebody forfeiting against them, but tonight they won due to forfeit. But Celtics, Goodfellas, those are 2 surprising teams to see on that list.
It's just been a rough season for both. For the Goodfellas, losing Garland and Arsam kind of broke their flow. For the Celtics, just gelling. There's somebody new missing each week, every game. Just got to get the team chemistry in there, and then we'll get in there. It's just like the Rebels. It's not a team you want to see in the playoffs, so you hope that they lose out the last 2 games.
So you guys play Free Ballers and Barracudas, if I'm correct. So you probably beat the Cudas. Free Ballers should be a good game next week.
Yeah, Free Ballers will be tough. They play together, move the ball, play team defense. So that'll be tough. We have the size mismatch, but then that helps with them. As we saw with the Bulls tonight, we have the size mismatch because they have smaller guards, but their guards hustle and run the floor, where if we have to put one of our bigs on the guard, they're just going to outrun them.
Yeah, so 7 teams on the bubble, and a few that you wouldn't expect there. So it'll be interesting. One more weekend in Bloomington South, and then 2 weeks here, and then playoffs will start. So let's get into it. A team that I don't think we've mentioned this season is doing surprisingly well. The Magic Johnsons here in Fridley are now 5-1. They beat Menace today, 73-67. They're 5-1, and they're not ranked. Will they be ranked this next week?
I believe so. They should be. Everyone discredits Fridley. Izzy. Now, we had a battle over my power rankings and how I feel about them. That's why you need different people on the committee so you can have that variance. But they'll be on my list for being ranked.
Abdi went 12 for 15 tonight and had 31 points. It's a pretty good game.
That's solid. I'm pretty sure a lot of pull-ups and capitalizing on when Menace is looking down. I mean, I know it's a lot of times Menace and Goodfellas, same core players, that once they feel like they're out of the game, they kind of mope, and that's when the other team picks it up and makes that run.
Squires are now 6-1. We've been talking to them about being the number 1. Maybe they're sliding on the radar, even though the first 2 games they won, they played 5-on-4. Blue Chips lose. We'll talk about them later, but 1 week at number 1. Are the Squires a new number 1 team? Will we have a true number 1 going into the playoffs?
No, this is the season where it's bouncing all over the place. Like, it may be the curse of the number 1 seed. Were the Gorillas number 1 because they won 12 straight, yeah. And so they're number 1. Then they went on a losing streak. We put the Blue Chips up there. They lost. Squires are next. You're number 1 on my list. Prove it. That's all I gotta say.
Last night in Bloomington South, you had the Shockers versus Miller Time. Prime time, 9:30, the only game playing. And Miller Time only shows up with 4 guys, which was a disappointment. If anybody stayed, you got to see Zhao Lee break your unofficial record, but Zhao dropped 79 points. I don't think he shot a 2-pointer, but he went 26 for 41 from deep, which is pretty impressive. Your thoughts on that?
I'm sad I have to hand the torch over. I'm real sad. I still got you on percentage, but 79, that's impressive. Like, no, I mean, that's 15 shots missed which out of 40 shots, that's tough for most of UH to shoot in a gym by themselves.
So we kind of had the battle of the teams that should be doing better but aren't. Celtics versus Bulls tonight.
First team to 3 wins.
Yeah. Bulls are 3-4 now. Celtics are 2-4. You guys need to win. The Bulls they seem to want it more. They were hustling. Kind of got you guys out of your rhythm early on, and ball was on the ground. They were getting it. Your thoughts on the game?
Bulls came out hustling. It was stagnant to begin the game, and then they they rose the tempo. With our lineup, we need to slow it down a little bit, run the slow San Antonio transition basketball, the moderate fast breaks. Yeah, like there was no way. I mean, the 2 guards were me and Kyle, and last time I checked, we never ran fast. So we had to slow it up some. We tried to throw too many outlets, push it a little bit too much where we got stuck and trapped. So we coughed it up. They forced us to probably 20 turnovers as a team. I know I had at least 4 or 5. It's just a team loss right there. And they wanted it more. They were diving. They were crashing on boards, getting block shots.
And they had Rod Powell tonight.
And Rod makes a difference. And he draws attention from us on defense. And then he's just that guy that wants to win. He's not the guy that's here for, I need to get 20 a game to win. It's I want to win. Whatever I got to do or to get the W is what I'm going to do.
On to the bad. You kind of touched on it already. But the Goodfellas and your Celtics, you guys need a win to get in the playoffs. And I mean, even then, depending on how these other teams do and quality of your wins and everything, we could see the Goodfellas and the Celtics out. Let's talk about the Goodfellas. Garland's not there anymore. They added Sam Hansen. What's going on with them? Yeah, Arsam's not there.
Arsam. It's tough, and that leaves Josh on an island as the lone point guard. E can bring it up, but you're going to want E attacking the basket more. So now you got Josh on that island as your lone kick-out guy, and it makes the defense easy, So you got Josh Hoyle on an island out there left alone without Arsam there. It's tough. Like, teams pressure him. He's not the best ball handler, so it's tough for them to get their groove back. So you have Garland and Arsam missing. That's tough to replace.
So the Chips get all the way to number 1. They beat the Rebels and the Gorillas. Not saying the Broncos are a bad team, but they get to true number 1 status. And they lose right away. Again, kind of like the Bulls, the Broncos just seemed like they wanted it more. You got time to interview John Price about the game. Here's that interview now.
Hello, UH Nation. I'm here with John Price, the face of the franchise of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Just want to have you break down your win over the number 1 seeded Blue Chips. How you feel?
Well, it was a good win. We had our shooters hitting, but basically the reason we won is we shut down their main guys, which was Arsenio and Tony. I mean, they were trying to get their main guys that game. I don't know if it was for that season, but for that game they had the most shots, and we had them shooting tough shots, and they shot a low percentage on us. So not only that, but we rebounded well. We got a lot of offensive chances, rebounds for second chances. And that made the difference. We only won by 4, so a couple offensive rebounds here is basically the game.
So I know the Broncos have their returning core, the team that they're used to playing with. What do you feel like you struggle with this season?
We struggle sometimes with our aggressiveness. So sometimes we'll pass up good looks. We'll pass up layups. for a pass, for a dish, or we'll pass up a wide open three to keep swinging it. So the weakness isn't so much of a weakness. It's more identifying where the advantage is. And when you have the advantage, you have to be able to make some baskets from it. So I think that's our weakness.
Well, I know you started with that good win with the Blue Chips. Now you got the wheels running right in time for the playoffs. Who do you have next week? Do you know?
I think Muskies.
Muskies.
Yep.
So you can finish the season with 2 good wins, put you in the playoffs. Hopefully, we know how Izzy does his seedings, but put you in the play-in games more than likely. and I mean, you got the wheels running for the playoffs. You going to make a run?
I think so. We have a very underrated team for the statistics and for the league. I mean, we're just gelling. We have a lot of good talent. Mike Morris is really heating up this season, as he should be. He's an elite talent. I mean, we have some elite bigs, and I think we have a good chance to make some noise.
All right, thank you.
John kind of touched on it. They shut down. They shut down the Blue Chips scores. I think Arsenio went 2 for 12, and I don't know what DeBoer went, but they shut those 2 down. They kind of, if anybody was watching, that's the blueprint to beat the Blue Chips.
Yeah, Arsenio's their first option to facilitate. So if he's getting frustrated, not being able to see the court or even create his own shot, because, I mean, that's what he does. He gives that space to where you think he's a threat and he's looking to pass. And they shut him to 2 for 12, and I think Wetzel had a bad game also, which is their all-around hustle guy, and then he went down, which kind of hurts their season.
Hopefully he's all right. Hopefully he's all right. It didn't look very good, so hopefully he's fine.
I'm hoping it was just like that freak little twitch where you get a little bit more scared than hurt, and hopefully we see him back either next week or a week after for playoffs. But if he's down, that really hurts their season.
Probably the game that everybody or myself was looking forward to. I was really looking forward to the Miller time and the Shockers too, but the Avengers and the Heights tonight. You wanted to see if the Heights were real, and early on they played. I think they were the better team up until about. I think they were up by 1 with 8 minutes left, and then I don't know if it was the refs that got in their head, the Avengers got in their head, but stupid turnovers. The Avengers team ball took over. Just simple things like pick and roll and stuff took over. But I think overall the Heights played a good game, and if they continue, they can be a force in this league. Who do they play next week?
The Heights. I'm not sure.
Maybe the Magic Johnsons.
That'd be good.
I think they play the Magic Johnsons. That'd be a good game too. So, I mean, they're in the playoffs, but the Heights will be looking. The Heights will be looking to get a win going in the playoffs.
And it's basically against the Avengers' experience. So the Avengers just hung around, and the Heights, from their style, they're not really a team-oriented offense. So one-on-one is not going to last 44 minutes. It could last 30. It could last 35. Eventually, somebody's going to run out of gas, and if you're hanging around in the game, that's when you lose the tempo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You didn't get to watch the game though, did you?
Yeah, I was playing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, from what I saw, I didn't see much of the one-on-one ball that they've played. You saw a little bit of it, but you saw more of a team game, setting picks, spreading out the floor, giving it to the guy that had the advantage. I liked how they played tonight, but I would have liked to see him win. But
yeah, that would have backed up my power ranking right there, and I'd have shoved it in Izzy's face. That'd have been great.
On to the ugly. You really want to?
Yeah. So the ugly here, Aaron gets a free pass if Adam's out for the season because Adam's 0 for 0. So my challenge now is you have to shoot at least 75% the rest of the season.
All right.
That'll bring your percentage up to maybe 50, maybe 50.
45.
Yeah, because he was 1 for 5 tonight. Had a few and ones, but you can't make it an and one if you don't make the free throw.
But then I only have to shoot one.
Yeah, so that should make it a lot easier. You don't have to worry about the second. And then Ugly, I have sign up next season. You need to sign up online before. Use your LT bucks if you have them. Go to my LT. Is the link set up on the UH website?
I think we'll hand out flyers here soon on directions on how to sign up online. Yeah, everything will be done online. There will be no paper forms next season. If you come here and you're not signed up online, don't have a paper form, you'll be forced to go pay before you can play. It's really not that tough to sign up online. It's almost 2016, so that'll be next season, and I think we'll just we'll lead off the good, the bad, and the ugly every episode with that maybe. But any final thoughts?
Work on your free throws. Broncos need to continue that momentum to the playoffs. The Celtics need to start some momentum for the playoffs, and it's crunch time, playoff time.
It's crunch time. Time to start winning. Make your case, especially those bottom 7 teams. So we'll see you next week, week 8.